Yo, back once again with another video, man. Yes, this is going to be a album review. Now, I don't usually do album reviews, so this is my first one. So just bear with me on this one, man. I usually do movie reviews, but I'm trying my hand at album reviews, so bear with me. This one is going to be for Kendrick's album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, probably the biggest hip-hop album to drop this year. And yeah, have some thoughts about it, and I'm just going to make it short and sweet. I'm not going to drag this one out. So here we go, man. I have been playing the album all throughout this weekend. I have played it about, I would say 4 times now. I've been listening to it quite a lot. And the more times that I do listen to it is the more that I like it. So overall, man, I do think that it's a really good album. I think that it's a solid project from Kendrick. We haven't heard an album from him in like 5 years, and I do think that this album is his best album since Good Kid, and Mad City. I know that's saying a lot, but I do really like this album a lot. And that's not to say that it's a perfect album, of course. There are some things that I don't like, but overall, I really enjoy this album. I enjoy listening to it. This is an album that's going to be in my rotation all throughout the year. I'm going to go back and listen to some of the songs on here. I'm going to be playing it again today. So, yes, I do really like this album a lot. I can't say that it's dope because there are some things that really take me aback from this album. But overall, what I got, I am satisfied. I am happy. And like I said, I am going to be playing it many times throughout the year. I'm going to be playing it again today. Like the more and more times I listen to it, the more and more I like it. So I do think that this is a solid turnout for Kendrick, and I'm glad to say that. I am happy to say that. Now, one of the things that I do like about the album is the whole uniqueness of it all. And I think that this album does showcases Kendrick's uniqueness that he has with his music. Like, he did do like unique approaches that I've never heard before in a hip hop song. Like, there's a lot of tracks on here to where he's like experimenting with different flows. Like, his approach to certain beats is an approach that you will never think of, but Kendrick does it anyway. And I would say that it really doesn't work most of the time, but it still gives you a unique experience. And I think this showcases that you could take hip hop to another level if you push those boundaries a little bit further. Like, hip hop doesn't have to sound a particular way. You could push, hip hop to new heights. You could take it somewhere else that you never thought that you could take it, but you could take it there and it makes for a unique vibe. While I will say that it wouldn't work 100% of the time, but like I said, it gives you a new feel. It gives you like almost like a breath of fresh air. Like, okay, this is a unique approach to a song, and this is something that I never heard before. And yes, it is an acquired taste, but like I said, I think it keeps hip hop fresh a little bit, to hear those new sounds, to hear those new elements being used in certain hip hop tracks that you will never hear on a hip hop song. But Kendrick has showcased that in the best way on this album, So I will say that I do see his uniqueness a lot more on this album compared to his other ones. I do hear that on this one. So I do appreciate that, even though I don't think it works most of the time. It's still, I do like unique approaches to music, and hearing something like this, it's like, okay, I could vibe with this on a certain level. You know what I mean? So I will say that. Another thing too is that I do think that this album has like a whole cinematic type of feel. This album has a cinematic type of vibe, especially on the first listen. Now, I do still think that it has that movie type of vibe, but like, especially on the first listen, it's like almost every song is like a scene out of a movie. It's just, so I guess the way how it transitions within the song, like you have like different sequences and sort of like what Kendrick is talking about. Especially, I think the best example of this is the song We Cry Together. That is just a perfect example of just like a movie scene, you know what I mean? But, kind of like in a hip hop track form. It's almost like a hip hop musical, a scene from a hip hop musical, you know what I mean? Just the whole feel of that track, We Cry Together, is so authentic and it's so real. but they're rhyming at the same time. I cannot praise that song enough. If you haven't listened to We Cry Together, please sit down and listen to that. I think that that is the best album. Not the best album, but that is the best song on the whole entire album, man. Like, there's a reason why a lot of people like that song, because I just think that it's the approach that he took with that whole entire track. Like, just the dialogue between him and the girl, it just sounds like actually two people arguing, going back and forth. And like I said, the flow sounds authentic. It sounds real. It doesn't sound like forced, or it doesn't sound like an actual song. It actually sounds like two people arguing, really going at it, but they're rhyming at the same time. It makes for a unique experience. And that's the type of thing that I like about this album most. It gives you unique vibes. It gives you that unique element that you never heard on a hip hop song before. And I just think that it just, like I said, it just gives you a unique experience, man. I'm not just going to drag it out. So overall, I do like the album, man. It's a good album. There are a few things that I don't like. I would say one of those things is, for every song that I like, there's one or two that kind of like takes me out of the album a little bit, especially when I play it from start to finish. Like when you're finished like listening to like a song like Purple Hearts, or you're listening to a song like N95, you get songs like Crown, or you get songs like the last two tracks on the album, which is like Mirror and Man, I'm Sober. Like that type of mundane, like it's super dragged out, you know, and the song is like almost 5 minutes long. So you're just sitting through a bore fest listening to this stuff, and you're just like, okay, when are we going to get to the next song? It's those type of songs that really takes me out of the album a little bit. You know what I mean? That's why I can't really say that this album is dope, because it doesn't have a consistent flow from start to finish. You get your bangers, but at certain points, the album just comes to a complete stop. And it just takes me out of the album in its entirety. And then the next song, of course, it picks up. But then you get like the song after that that's kind of like so slowed down. He's doing like the spoken word stuff. And you're just like, man, just get back to something more a tempo, something more a beat. And that's why I can't say that the album is dope. It's a really good album. It's a solid album. But I just can't put the dope status on there, man, because those couple of songs that's on there really takes me out of the album, man. And that's kind of disappointing, man. That's kind of disappointing. Some of the songs that I like, N95, banging track, especially after the first song. When I listened to the first song, I got scared a little bit, because that song reminded me of like To Pimp a Butterfly. So I'm like, are we going to get To Pimp a Butterfly again? I really don't want to hear Pimp a Butterfly again. So I was really nervous. I was really scared. But then when N95 came on, I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm vibing now. We on go time now. We on go time. So I do like N95. Worldwide Steppers, I think that's what the song is called. That's another track to where he's like experimenting with like different type of flows. And it kind of works in certain ways, and it kind of doesn't. Because when the song starts out, it starts out with like a banging ass beat, like boom, 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 boom. And you're just like, okay, oh, Kendrick's going to go in. He's just going to like spit some shit that you ain't like, yo, he's just going to just go off. And he starts out that way. He starts out like just going off. But then he gets into like this whole spoken word shit. And I'm just like, wait, what is this? Like, what are we doing? Like, this is not it, Kendrick. Like, get back to like the spitting, man. Like, get back to like the ordinary hip hop flow. Like, get back to that. But he just went way off in the deep end. He just started going like and that whole type of spoken word type of flow on that type of beat. I just would never think that he would take that type of approach, but he did it. And in some ways it works, but I think in other ways it doesn't. Like when I first heard it, it kind of took me out of the song. But like listening to it over and over again, I did get used to it, and it did like resonate with me a little bit more. And I do like the song, but I'm just like, that particular part is kind of like, I'm vibing with it a little bit, but at the same time I'm not. So it's kind of like a conundrum, you know what I mean? And what makes matters worse is that there's a part in the song to where the beat changes up, and that beat that they use, like, I thought that was going to be like the second half of the song, because that beat is freaking ill. Like, I was just like, holy shit, like, yo, this shit is ill. But it only plays for like 15 seconds and it goes back to like his whole weird type of flow again. So I'm just like, oh man, Kendrick, man. And that's the thing that like kind of like bogs my mind with Kendrick. I'm just like, when he does that whole spoken word type of shit, I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, Kendrick, man. Like, to me, it's kind of like an acquired taste. Like, in some aspects, it does work. In some aspects, it doesn't. But I appreciate him kind of like pushing that boundary a little bit, not staying in a particular box per se. You know, kind of being experimental. Kind of like, okay, let me play around with this style and this particular style of beat, and let's see where it goes. You know what I mean? So, like I said before, it gives the whole album a unique vibe. And that's what I like about it the most. It's like a unique experience, especially upon the first listen. I don't think that this album will be for everybody. I do see a lot of people saying that they like Damn more than this. And I disagree. I think that this is his best album since Good Kid and Mad City. I definitely think it's better than Pimp a Butterfly. Anything is better than that trash-ass album. Kendrick stans, don't come after me, man. I don't like To Pimp a Butterfly at all. And I do think that it's better than Damn, because with Damn, I did like it when I first heard it. But after a while, I'm just like, yeah, I don't really like it as much, and I'm kind of done with this album. But with this one, I could see me playing it over and over again and not getting tired of it. I do think that this album has more of a replay value than Damn. So I will say that this album is his second best album since Good Kid, Mad City. So I do disagree with a lot of people saying that Damn is better. And I do see quite a few people saying that they don't really feel this album. Like, they're saying that this album is mid. Like, they don't really like it as much as other people. And I can see that. I do see that because, like I said, it's kind of like this album, it does have like its weirdness with that whole unique aspect that he uses in a lot of the songs. So I do think that it's going to turn people off. It's going to turn quite a few people off when they hear it. So I will say that this album, yeah, as a whole is an acquired taste for certain people. Like I said, it's not meant for everybody. You know what I mean? Of course, the Kendrick fans are going to eat it up. They're already eating it up. They're already calling it classic and gold. So that's, you know, goes without saying. But for a lot of the people that's like more like the critical type of end when it comes to Kendrick, or they're not really Kendrick fans, it could go either way. Some people are going to be like, yeah, I like the album, but I could see some people like, I'm not really messing with this album. This album ain't really for me. But that's more so for like more of like the open fans, like the people who is not like super fans of Kendrick. Like, they don't really like Kendrick like that. Kind of like with me. Like, I like Kendrick as an artist. Like, I do think that he's a dope MC. Like, he could spit. But I'm not like a super Kendrick fan. Like, I'm not really like that crazy about Kendrick, really. You know what I mean? I do like him as an artist, like I said. But I'm not really crazy about him like that. You know, I'm more so critical of him than anything. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to drag this one out. I just want to cut this short. So yeah, I think that's going to pretty much wrap my thoughts up about this album. It is a good album, solid album. I'm going to be playing it today again. And yeah, that's it, man. So until my next one, man, I'm out.